Hi! Thanks for coming.
Okay. All right, you wanted to ask a little bit about my work. I started in hypnosis 45 years ago when nobody was doing hypnosis in this way at all. The only thing it was used for in those days was for habits, stop smoking, lose weight. And I've discovered this by accident when I got into reincarnation. Remember, in those days in the 1960s, there was no metaphysics, there was no New Age, nobody understood anything about past lives. But over the years, as I worked with this, I developed my own technique. Because in the beginning, I had no one to teach me, to tell me what you could do and you couldn't do, because it wasn't being done. So I had to develop my own technique, and as it went along, I began to discover that I was working with something that nobody else is working with. But in, the beginning, it just came in very subtly and very slow, that I didn't really know what I had. And I was doing past life regressions, but then something else began to happen, and this other force, I guess you would say, came through. And I began to develop that to where now we're able to use it for healing. And I say we are working with the greatest force in the universe. It's the thing that can answer all your questions. It knows everything. And also we can have instant healing in one session. That's the important thing. But the part that I work with, I call it the subconscious. But it's not the subconscious the way it's defined by the psychiatrist. That's a childish part of your mind that the hypnotist is working with. That's the part that they use for habits. That's not the part that I work with. But I called this part the subconscious because I didn't know what else to call it. And they say, we don't care what you call us, we don't have a name anyway, but we'll work with you. But if you want to define it, you may say it is the higher self, the oversoul, the higher consciousness. Some people have called it the universal consciousness. But it is so big and so huge that it knows everything and it has great power, but also it is total love. And when I'm working in that energy, it is so fantastic because it just encompasses you, that the power and the love that you feel with it is so tremendous. And this is what I'm teaching now all over the world because we are having miraculous cures happening with this method. And my students are also reporting the same results that I am reporting.
Nice. So now you are teaching all over the world. And did you imagine that when you start?
No, because when I began, nobody was doing any of this. I didn't even know what I had tapped into. I just found out about reincarnation and going back into past lives when nobody else was using it for it. But it took many years to gradually develop into this stage. So I wouldn't have imagined this because I don't think anybody could. It just didn't exist. So it was a gradual process. But you learn to trust it when you begin to see the results.
Yeah.
And it's more than simple past lives. That's the very beginning of it. Then we go into the more complicated part that does all the work.
Yeah, many people is asking why to focus in past lives. But I realize with your method that this is not about only past life, it's about this present life.
Yes, because a lot of times the person's problems that they're experiencing in this lifetime come from other lives they have lived. And we go back there to find the answers. They have traumas, they have phobias, allergies. Illness that is carried forward sometimes comes from the way they died in another lifetime. We take them back to find the cause of the problems in the other lifetimes. And by finding out these causes, miracles happen. So the past lives do have value in that way.
Do you think this is the future medicine?
Well, they, and I mean by they, the ones I work with, first they were saying this is the medicine of the future, but now they're saying it's the medicine of now. And we're having doctors and hospitals interested in this because of the things that are happening that they can't explain.
Okay, now you are traveling around the world. I would like to see you in Argentina. Would you like to come to see us?
Well, I've been invited to go there.
Yeah, okay.
They want me to have a class there, so we're planning on doing that in September of this year.
Okay.
We'll be going into Mexico and then to several countries in Argentina, teaching people my technique.
Okay, now it's starting to move to Spanish people, because the last year you were only with a spoken or English spoken. Now this is starting to Spanish speaker.
Oh, no, I've been every country in the world. We have to have translators everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Went to China 3 times last year. We go to Russia a lot. And last year we went 3 months in Europe, a different country every week. So we had different translations in each country. So it is spreading to all the world, not just English.
Okay. Okay, well, thanks for this. I know you are tired because we already have this level 2. And thanks for all the work you are doing around the world.
It's time for people to open up. The veil is thinning. You're getting your psychic abilities back. We're moving into the new earth, the new vibrations and frequencies. It's time to realize what power we really have.
Okay, thank you.